#WhyISign. It's a social media campaign that's gone viral across the country and across the world. People everywhere are sharing the reasons signing is an important part of their identity. Before I share why I sign, let's go back in time and take a look at how sign language came to America. This is Alice. She lives in a house with her dad in Hartford, Connecticut. She wants to play with other kids in the neighborhood, but she's deaf and isn't sure how to communicate with them. It's the year 1815 and there's no school for deaf children in the whole country. While other kids go to school to learn and make friends, Alice has nowhere to go and no way to talk to other kids. Soon, her next-door neighbor, Thomas Gallaudet, notices how lonely Alice must be. He begins to communicate with her through pictures and writing in the dirt. Determined to give her a better form of communication, Gallaudet heads off to Europe to explore communication and education options for deaf children. Gallaudet first traveled to England, but the school for the deaf he found there was secretive and not willing to share their techniques. He soon found his way to France, where he met Laurent Clerc, a teacher at the National Institute for the Deaf in Paris. Clerc agreed to come back to America with Gallaudet and taught him French Sign Language along the way. Together, they founded the American School for the Deaf in 1817, giving children like Alice the opportunity to learn. Deaf children all over the country fled to Connecticut to attend the new school, but when they arrived, they discovered yet another communication barrier. Many students came from Martha's Vineyard, where they had their own sign language due to the high population of deaf people. Many other students had developed their own signs to communicate with family members, and Clerc was using French Sign Language to teach. All these languages mixed and merged with one another to create a brand new language, American Sign Language. American Sign Language, or ASL, is defined as a visual manual language for the deaf in which meaning is conveyed by a system of articulated hand gestures and their placement relative to the upper body. ASL can also be described as the dominant language of those who belong to North American deaf culture. Deaf culture? Can it really be considered a culture if it doesn't have a geographical basis like most other cultures? The short answer is yes. Deaf culture has its own values, social cues, literature, art, architecture, and important people, places, and events. And of course, its own language. So why do I sign? Because God created a world full of different people, languages, and cultures, and American Sign Language and deaf culture are just a part of that beautiful diversity.
Created using Powtoon.